Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Dan Gets Rich Endurance Sports Podcast. Today is Tuesday, November the 16th, and this is episode number 16 of season number 3. Please follow us on our social medias at Dan Gets Rich on the Instagram and the Facebook, and please hit that subscribe button, whatever platform you consume your podcast. My name is Richard Parks, and I'm joined, as always, by Panda Dan. How are you, Dan?
How's it going, Rich? I keep trying to
Good,
change
buddy.
my name up a little bit because everybody tries to give me a different name, and you always just come out here steadfast and strong, Rich, every time.
I'm just Rich. I'm too lazy to change it. It comes up when I log in. It just comes up automatically as Rich. And I didn't even see that you had Panda Dan on there, so I wasn't pandering to your panda-ness at
I'm
all.
ready to go slide down
Just
another mountain.
It's about that time. It's gotten a little chilly this week around here. The first time we've had a little bit of chilly weather. When I say chilly, we're in Florida. We're in North Florida, so it's gotten down to the high 50s, and all the girls have broken up out their UGG boots and their sweaters, and everybody, all the guys have their hoodies out. So it's that's cold for here.
You would not believe you don't work in an office, so you probably. Every day I come to work and they set the AC. I think it's probably on like 67. And I'll walk around the office and everybody's got like blankets around them. They got their boots on. They got, foot warmers. I'm like, you would think it's 50 degrees in the office.
Well, still 67 is pretty chilly for to have it in an office environment, I would think. You know who sets it at 67?
Me.
No, someone who's not paying for the electric bill. I promise you, the person who's paying for the electric bill is not setting it at 67 degrees. I promise.
Probably not. It's a pretty big building, so I would reckon. I think it's stuck like that. But I think Rich, I think we need to start the show off with an apology because. Ooh. We always talk, and we're men enough to admit when we're wrong, right?
Of course, yes, absolutely.
We're not too proud. And every week, or when there's a pro field race that has women in it, and Heather Jackson is racing, we always comment that book it. It's fourth place. I think we owe her an apology now that she was able to break through at Ironman Florida.
I had this in my notes. I thought we would get farther into this show before we're eating crow. But yes, definitely I apologize. And we've made into a little bit of a joke and a gag and a Dan Gets Rich kind of bit here to say that Heather Jackson brings home fourth place like a champion every time. But congrats to her, Ironman Florida champion.
No, very, very impressive performance at Florida, and we'll get into the rest of everything that else transpired there. But I mean, to come back on the run, I mean, obviously, as you know, she's above average runner, but when you get to late on the second half of the marathon, mile 15, 16, and you can kind of catch and run side by side with the leader, it pumps you up if you're the person catching the leader, and it deflates or demoralizes the leader that they got caught, and then all of a sudden realize I need to find some additional energy and speed to be able to finish this and hang on to the race. So kudos to her. It was a great performance. So congratulations, Heather Jackson. We are still cheering for you, but we love to still say that, odds are that you're going to finish fourth, right? Is that what we're saying?
She's queen of fourth place. She definitely is. She it's so bad. And I thought the same thing. And like we said, congratulations to her. And we don't mind, putting our foot in her mouth every now and then. We probably do it every show, but we definitely owe her a big congratulations from the Dan Gets Rich show on a first place finish.
No doubt about it. And I mean, on the men's side, just as impressive, or even more impressive. I don't know which way you want to go, but Gustav Iden, we talked about then there was a lot of anticipation between him going in and getting his first Ironman under the belt, and he was going to be part of the big, Lionel Sanders, Jan Frodeno, um, bit out in I think it was out in St. George that they were going to all race, and that never transpired. But to show up in your first Ironman and throw down a 7:42, like, I mean, I know we talked about, obviously, and however you want to look at records. I mean, earlier this year, we saw Jan Frodeno go 7:27 in the mano a mano with Lionel Sanders, which was, very, very impressive. But in race conditions, to throw down a 7:42 and to battle the water conditions that they had in Panama City was pretty incredible. I mean, it looked like all the pros were finishing about 10 minutes slower than what they would have normally swam. So if you take a 7:42, knock off 10 minutes in race conditions, and then you look at what Jan did, and Gustav's not far off there. I think if you had put him in a little bit different environment like Jan and Lionel had, I think he might have had a chance to go out there and maybe finish at the goal line with Jan Frodeno on that course.
Yeah, I think that with the swim conditions, not only is it the 10 minutes off, it's the effort that they put in on the swim that goes over and above the just a normal swim for these guys. So 7:42 coming out, and if he knocks 10 minutes off of that, 7:32, and he's definitely within that reaching distance of that number that they had. And it wasn't just a tough day in the waters, a windy day on the bike. So I'm sure that there was some conditions that held him back there also.
So, I mean, but looking at his time, I mean, he did a 7:42, so he swam 58:09. He biked a 4:05:11. I know there's only, some of those times have been sub 4, but like you said, very windy conditions out there, Panama City, to go 4:05:11. And then he threw down a 2:34:51 run, which just and again, I did not do research before we got on here, but I would have to imagine that a 2:34 run is probably the fastest run split off the bike that we've had in an iron distance race.
You think that's true? That's a record for iron distance race?
Again, Rich, I'm not bringing facts to the show. I'm just bringing my opinion to the show.
It could probably be easily checked. That being said, Lionel Sanders had a great race, even at 7:48, 7:48:50. He comes in second by 6 minutes. Fantastic race. I thought the big news of that whole kind of thing was the post race. Iden was like, yeah, whatever. It was fun. I had a good time. Probably going to skip Kona. I don't think I'll go to Kona. I'm not, he's not, he's not sold on the lore of that Kona race. He'd rather go race a couple races in St. George instead. Kind of defend that 2-time, go for 3-time 70.3 title.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot different race for sure. I mean,
Sure.
When you're looking at a 70.3, I think you're probably more closely redlining than you would be in an Ironman race. And obviously for him to nail everything on his first Ironman, I mean, do you look at it and you nail everything and you throw down one of the fastest times in history? Or you're like, I did that. I'm good.
Yeah, what else you got? Pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously I'd love to see him compete in the long distance there, but I mean, he is obviously top of his game in the 70.3 as well. So pretty much, Gustav, you can do whatever you want, buddy. We're just everybody except Jan's living in your world right now. So,
and he, Sanders came off and said, he's the real deal. Sanders came off and gave big kudos to Iden and said this guy's the real deal, and just gave him praise all around.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not at that point? I mean, like you said, really windy course, for him to average almost 28 miles an hour on the bike and then, throw down the run that he had was absolutely incredible. And it was interesting because when we saw him at Challenge Daytona, I felt like he kind of, even though he had already won some races and he was a 70.3 champion, I don't think he was really getting the recognition that he probably deserved at that point. And I think now he's kind of stepped up his game where he is now going to be the hunted instead of the hunter.
Yeah, there's no more flying under the radar. You've got two 70.3 world championships under your belt. You've gone out and put a 742 in a full distance race in tough conditions. You're not flying under the radar anymore. People know who you are. People are going to be gunning for you now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But there's one thing that I do want to get into, when we talk about this and you talk about Ironman and obviously safety first, we always talk about that. And obviously, Ironman's probably a lot of pressure on Ironman to put races on and get these races going, get some revenue onto their books. Obviously the race conditions out in Panama City were not ideal. We had talked about the red tide there the week prior to, and then, you get all of a sudden you get some weather to come in and you get some really tough conditions. I was not at the race. I heard a lot of people who were at the race just said, the conditions were rough. It was choppy out there. There was not so much swells, but there was, the current was really tough. And some people were posting their actual swim times. It's a 2-loop course out there. So you get out of the water. I saw some people over 3 miles on their swim. So either you are a terrible sighting swimmer in open water, or you had to battle some pretty tough conditions out there. So I don't know one way or the other, but also when you look at it, and we were tracking some athletes very closely. And one of the things that we did notice that a lot of athletes were not making the cutoffs. And this is the one issue that I have with Ironman. Not the only issue, but one of the major issues that you have now is not everybody's going in on a mass start anymore, right? So you have people entering the water at different times.
Sure.
And then, when you have conditions like this and you have people who may be a below average swimmer or an average swimmer, but then get in conditions like this, and there's swim times that they think they're going to be fine on. Maybe they normally swim a 2 hour, 2.4 miles, and all of a sudden you get into those conditions. The cutoff is 2:20, and you may not make it, but maybe swimming is the worst thing that you do. And you would have made the cutoff every other time. There were some athletes that we were watching that got out of the water, missed the cutoff, but they apparently allowed some of these athletes to keep going. And so then we're watching these athletes who are showing that they're not getting a finished time, and they're out on the bike and they're biking 18 miles an hour, which clearly is going to put you within the cutoff. And and then they got off the bike and they went on the run on some of these athletes, and they made the run course. And I watched a couple of athletes that were local to our area actually not make the swim cutoff, but overall they would have finished in the top 50% in their age group overall in the race. And I really think that that's one thing that needs to be looked at with Ironman. And I get the cutoff times. You got to get everybody out of the water. But I think there needs to be some leniency there. And what I'd like to see, instead of having the swim cutoff time, what I'd like to see probably is have a cutoff time somewhere on the bike. Because if you have somebody that's swimming a 2:20 and then they're getting out there and they're biking 13 or 12 miles an hour, that's a big difference between someone who's an average or maybe a little bit slightly below average swimmer. They get out there, they swim a 2:20 or 2:21, just miss the cutoff, and then they get out there and are biking 17, 18, 19 miles an hour, who are easily going to make the cutoff. It's a travesty to those people who put so much time in, put the effort in, think that they're going to be fine making the swim. Something happens, course wise, they can't make it, but they, overall, like I said, top 50% in their overall age group. What do you think about that, Rich?
Yeah. If the, if you're not a good swimmer and you're presented with these kind of conditions, and that is by far your worst event, people can go out and bike and run. You're being tremendously penalized if they're cutting you off from that and saying that you can't finish the race or that you're DQ'd because of one segment of the race, one You know, I'm with you. I don't think that's quite fair. So if you get out on the bike and prove yourself, or at least, you know, I would much rather than pull you off the course and say you're done than keep you going and afterwards say you didn't make it. You're DQ'd.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I get the safety aspect of the swim, and I understand. Yes, if you know you're an hour and a half into the swim and you're on your first loop, then yeah, I can see that. I mean, but if you're close and you know, and I don't know if you submit times to Ironman or how they do that, but I really think they need to have, maybe it's, you know, hey, you got to finish, you know, within, you know, maybe they extend the swim time out there a little bit. But you have to make the first 20 miles or 30 miles of the bike by a certain time. And then once you make that, then you're good. I don't know. I think that needs to be tweaked a little bit. I know their rules were put in place when they were doing mass starts, where it was a lot easier to kind of figure out who's making what times. But other than that, I don't know. It was disappointing to see because, you know, especially with Ironman, I mean, races have been canceled. You know, you get different people out there in different venues. You know, they're putting so much time and effort into it. And then to be, you know, because you got caught in what was, you know, seemed to be a, you know, pretty hectic day out in the water, that you don't actually get to get a complete finish time, even though you crossed the finish line ahead of probably 75, 100 competitors who are in your age group. It just seems like a disservice to those athletes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You know, you're basing the pass fail of the entire day on one leg of a three-legged race. So it's just to kind of penalize an athlete for what might be their worst event or their worst skill level there is quite not quite fair. You know, it's another thing that it comes into play with the staggered start. You know, like you said, a mass start, it'd be a lot easier to regulate that and where you are in the race and in comparison to the rest of the field. So, you know, but I couldn't agree more. I mean, especially on a day like that, where you saw people coming out of the water. Lionel Sanders said it was the hardest swim he'd ever swam. Open water swim he'd ever swam in any race. So when you got athletes like that of that caliber coming out, obviously the middle of the pack or back of the pack athletes are going to be struggling tremendously, especially on that leg of the race.
Yes, for sure. And not to go off on a tangent, Rich, but while we were discussing this, I looked up the top 5 run times of all time. I was mistaken. So Gustav Ida did a 2:34:51. The fastest run time it looks like that I was able to find was Matt Hansen at Ironman Texas back in 2018. He ran a 2:34. 39. So he ran 12 seconds faster than Gustav Ida.
You're pretty close.
Oh man, I did see one thing, Rich, and maybe this is going to be the trash Ironman show.
Yeah, I got some information here for you.
What you got for me, buddy?
I sent you a little thing this week, and I said, Dan, what do you think the insurance costs in a full Ironman? What are the costs of a full Ironman? I have somebody kind of very, very close to me that is signing up for a full Ironman, and she sent me a screenshot of what an Ironman costs with insurance, what the full Ironman costs without the insurance, and the insurance entails, in case of injury, in case of illness. I think there's work and family obligations and travel delays and a couple other things. So this doesn't encompass if the race is canceled because of weather or whatever. Ironman just says F you on that. You guys are going to eat the cost. But in case of kind of those situations, what is a full cost of an Ironman? Then what is a full cost of an Ironman with insurance? What do you think?
Well, we had this conversation, so I'm going to tell our listeners what I thought it was, and then you can tell me how ridiculous my answer actually is. So you texted me and you said, Dan, what do you think it costs? And of course, my first thing you're kind of a jack of all trades. I'm like, oh, is Rich now in the insurance business where he's going to start paying?
I'm actually an Ironman actuary. I'm an Ironman actuary. I figured all this out.
So when you texted me that was my first thought. My second thought was, I'm going to guess $75.
And I think that would have been a good guess, $75 to $100, maybe $100. But no, you fell short there. Iron Man cost $799 for a full Iron Man. Okay, so we're starting at that point. That's the starting point, $799. We're going to call that 800.
Okay.
On top of that 800, there is something I haven't figured out what this is. There's a $73.91 processing fee. What is that?
That's on active.com. That's the active fee. It costs a lot of money for them to put the registration up.
So just to put it up there, process the payment, submit the entry to Iron Man is a $73 fee.
Yep.
And 91 cents. There is a $10 discount if you're an active member down here. So there's that, down at the bottom.
Bonus for that. I want to say, I think the active site, I think they do it by percentage of what the total cost is. So of course the cost is higher if you're paying on, it's 10%.
It's 10%, 10% of the race, 10% of the race is their processing fee to hold that. So the insurance fee on top of the 10%. So we're at $799 plus $73.91, $862.91 if you didn't get insurance. The insurance on top of that is $263.67.
So I was only $200 off on my guess.
You were about $200 off. I just thought that was absurd. So like you text me, you said that's about a third of the cost. That is about a third of the cost of that race for insurance.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. When you talk about it, you are getting into a race. And I don't understand why Ironman cannot do this. You have everybody signed up. The race is sold out. You take 150 people, you put them on a waiting list. So if someone drops out, you keep a portion of their money. Let's just say we keep 15 or 20% of your entry, but we'll give you the rest back. Then you have people on the waiting list. Boom. Hey, someone dropped out. You're the first person on the list. We're calling you. Do you want in? Yeah. Okay. Full Monty right there. You're already making more money off that entry there. You're making people happy by allowing them to get in, and you're keeping people engaged in your sport, because if you're on that waiting list and you have a 150-person shot, you're going to continuously train throughout the year. So not only are you out there training, but you're more involved in the community. You're out there not promoting cycle, but the cycling economy out there, the running economy, the fueling. Like, you are purchasing all these items as if you are still training for that Ironman. It does not make sense why they would not do that. And it doesn't make any sense how every other race event forum can do it except for Ironman. It doesn't make any sense.
And maybe you won't piss off all your customers. Yeah, it's just I just thought that was an absurd number. $263 for the insurance, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't cover cost of Ironman canceling the event if in fact they need to do so. It just covers your injury, your illness, travel delays, family obligations, that kind of thing. So I said there's no way. I said, Janine, there's no way that's a value proposition.
And so what did you tell her to do?
Go raw and just get the no insurance. I mean, what you that means a third of the time, that she has to, try to figure out the value in that. I just don't think it was there. She got less than third chance of not doing this because of injury. No. I think there's less than 5 or 10% chance of not doing it because of injury. So it just doesn't equate there. So the numbers don't work out.
Now, does that insurance, does that cover your hotel and travel? Like, let's just say,
no.
All the way up to leading up to the race, you're a week out. All of a sudden you fall and break your ankle and you're out.
I don't think so. I didn't read it like that. I didn't read it like it covered your insurance or your flights or anything like that. I thought it just covered, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I need to look into that more, but I thought it was just for the race entry.
Yeah, again, I
I
mean,
could
I
be wrong
know
though.
I know they have their sponsors active, needs to make their money off their sponsorship that they're paying out to Ironman, et cetera, et cetera. Average Joel just chimed in, say, hey, this credit card processing fee, everybody needs to make money. I understand that. It's usually about 2.5% processing fee on those, obviously, so they're making a decent amount of money on that. Instead of that, so you're signing up for an Ironman a year in advance, right? So Janine's a year out from her race. I mean, basically, it would cost you $60 a month. If you save $60 a month, you have your full entry back.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't think I didn't think it was a value proposition. So I told her to advise her to go with no insurance, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think there needs to be some other way. And I don't, and so is that insurance through
She's
Ironman?
Gonna be so mad. She's gonna be so mad.
Well, hey,
talking about this.
what is she? Is she going to be more mad that we're talking about her signing up for an Ironman, or is she going to be mad that we're talking about the processing fee?
No, she won't care about the processing fee one bit. She'll be mad that I'm spilling beans.
Wait, did you let the cat out of the bag? Did you let the cat out of the bag?
that she's going to be running Ironman Chattanooga in 2022.
That's a big step for her. I mean, she's ready to go. She feels good.
Yeah, she's 9 months out of a full hip replacement, and she feels like she can. Obviously, her bike and her cycling is solid. It's been real solid all last year. She really been riding a lot and riding well, and her swimming is what it is. And Chattanooga is a downhill swim, and she did it a few years ago. You were up there that year, and they didn't have the swim that year, so she kind of not having redemption. She hasn't completed the full distance in her eyes, and I don't look at it like that, and most people don't look at it like that, but she does, and she wants to. And now that she has this training kind of under her belt, she wants to continue with that.
Well, good. Looking forward to seeing her out there training. I know she has her group of people that she always trains with. So does that mean that we're announcing that all of them are doing Ironman Chattanooga?
No, there's a few that are, and some people that she really enjoys training with are going to be doing Ironman Chattanooga, and that's an important aspect. I mean, if you've got people that you enjoy riding with, you enjoy running with, and you guys can make plans and do those things together. It's a long process, as you know, and having people in your camp that are on the same journey is an important thing in that kind of leading up to the race.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you need that team around you. You need the support of everyone at home, training partners, et cetera. That's why we always stress the importance of not only your family being behind you, but having teammates and doing that. So if you're in an area and you are training for an Ironman, it's always better with friends. Link up with some team, some endurance team near where you live, because I assure you, the days that you don't want to get out of bed, someone's going to kick your ass to go do it.
Absolutely, 100%. And if you don't have a team, look up Stellar Endurance online and check them out. And great group. And I think I couldn't stress that more. There's no way you can do that. I mean, there obviously is a way you could do it on your own, but having that support group makes things a lot easier, a lot more manageable.
All right, Rich, you talked about that. That was not the one thing that I was talking about Ironman. So we're still going to be on the FU Ironman train right now, because I have one more thing to bring up on that. So what's the one thing in technology that we've been talking about probably for at least, we're in season 3. I think I brought this up in season 1, and I'd have to go back to see when the actual episode was. But how long have we been talking about not having officials out there on the course, but instead adding technology to the bike to make sure that we can just watch people draft, and if you get in the zone, you automatically get dinged for that, right? How long? We've been talking about for quite some time, have we not?
It would be, we determined it would be easy for smart people to do.
It would be easy for smart people to do. I saw in an article that came out last week. World Triathlon and Race Ranger team up on anti-drafting technology. Now tell me if you have heard this before. Let's see. World Triathlon has teamed up with Race Rangers, what's being billed as a new era in the development and advancement of the sport of triathlon through a groundbreaking new triathlon-specific anti-drafting technology. Race Ranger is an electronic sensor designed to improve the fairness issue around the issue of drafting on the bike section of non-drafting triathlons. They make up about 85% of the triathlon. Up until now, it was done by technical officials, yada, 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 developed by two athletes from New Zealand in collaboration with the World Triathlon Sports Team. Race Ranger comprises, now listen to this, 2 electric units. Triathletes in non-drafting competitions attach the unit to their bicycle, one at the front and one at the rear. Athletes will have these devices fitted to their bike prior to the event. Where have you heard that before, Rich?
We do have some listeners in New Zealand. So I want to say that these Race Rangers have been listening to the Dan Gets Rich podcast, and we will be looking for our royalty fees at some point in time.
I just don't understand how it is taking so effing long for people to see how easy that would be. We already have GPS tracking. How hard is it to put it on the front and the back? That's not breaking technology right
there. Hey, let's put a sensor on the front and then a sensor on the back, and we can monitor that.
It's every person out there on the bike. You get 1A and you get 1B for your sensors. A's on the front, B's on the back. If 1A crosses 2B, then you're drafting. Oh man, I just don't get it. I can't believe it's
somebody's gonna make them. Somebody's gonna make a mint on your idea, Dan.
I know. I'm highly disappointed, Rich. I just wish I was a little bit smarter so I could have just figured that out by myself of how to actually make that happen. It didn't seem very hard, and it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of depressing. It took that long, and this month, be like, we didn't have any races last year. What were these people doing? You couldn't think of any ideas out there? I mean, come on.
They were running marathons and Ironmans in their living room. Remember that? We actually had stories about that. They were doing Ironmans in their bathtub and stuff. And they shouldn't be coming up with a Race Ranger.
You know what I still think that they should have done with that, and I don't know why why didn't they come out with like USAT bucks or Ironman bucks? You did all these races to get people involved in the sport. How else to get them involved is, hey, you participated in all these events that we were putting on for you, and you earned 50 USAT bucks. You can put them towards an entry fee somewhere. I mean, I think people would be
a processing fee.
It'll cover your processing cost. Why not? It's not costing you anything. And again, if you're talking about engagement to do things like that, you want to engage as many people as you can at any given time, and that would be a way to do it. I mean, we looked at those and we joked about them because we're like, how ridiculous is it that, I'm going to run on my trainer and someone in Alaska is competing against someone in, Florida, and we're going to run outside, and it's 50 degrees in Alaska and it's 9,000 degrees in Florida.
It seems fair. It seems fair. That's good stuff, though. Good for the Race Ranger people. It's a great idea. Its time has come.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be interested to see how and when they're going to implement that. So hopefully that gets going soon, because there is nothing that pisses me off more than, especially that we saw at Challenge Miami, where you had all those people who were drafting and people who weren't even in the race leading out other people. I mean, there's nothing that pisses you off more as an athlete than watching someone draft the entire time and then get off and take your spot on the podium. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous out there. So yes, it'll be good to see that. And again, no offense to officials out there, but it's probably time to go the technology route on this, so we can ding every every single person out there, because hey, you look behind you, you see an official coming up there. Hey, you're just going to ease back a little bit. Once that official goes, boom, you have at least 20 miles of never seeing an official again.
So now if the race ranger can just disable their bike, just
I don't know what happened. The sensor fell off.
Just throw a wrench in the within the wheel. Yeah, that's I think that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, Clash Daytona, when is that coming up?
I think that's the weekend of December 4th. It's coming up pretty quick, buddy. Couple of weeks.
December. I saw that you sent me the application to fill out for a media pass for the Dan Gets Rich Endurance Sports Podcast. We'll be down there, kind of covering the race. Did you fill yours out?
I did not fill it out yet, but I will, Rich. I just wanted to make sure you were fully vested before I was committed myself.
Yeah, I'm going to stay down there. Janine and I are going to go down there. We've got a little camper we bought, and we're going to stay at Kevin Booth's house. I haven't asked him yet, so I'm asking him right now if we can camp on your property. Kevin, we'll be coming down with our camper. So you
have a camper. What we need to do? Hey, Bill Christie, if you're listening to the show, we know you're a friend and you listen. We need a couple RV spots here for the Dan Gets Rich Stellar Endurance shot.
The RV spot was $350 for the 4 days, and we only wanted to go down for a day or two. We didn't want to be there and that just seems like a lot of money for like 4 days on the infield.
That's why we're asking for a comped RV pass for 2 nights.
That would, and it's not even an RV; it's a little teardrop camper. I take a little spot.
Well, I know, but I was thinking about renting an RV to come on down for the weekend.
There we go. We can park them right next to each other. Have the Dan Gets Rich compound.
That's right. That's what I was thinking. We were going to bring all our tents, have a little food.
I love it.
Obviously have Fireball. I mean, it's not really a DGR party unless there's Fireball. And
no, there's got to be Fireball.
Yeah, it's got to be Fireball out there. So,
all right, Bill Christie, if you can make that happen, we'd love to come down and stay with you and with all your luxury RVs down there, and I'll be there with my little tent and my teardrop camper. And if not, I'm staying at Kevin Booth. Hey, I just talked about, and it's something I want to kind of say here for a minute. We just talked about the benefits of being involved with a triathlon team. One of the benefits of being involved with Stellar Endurance is all the discounts you get. You sign up for Stellar Endurance, you get discounts on discounts on discounts for all different things. I'm not one of those real discount people, but I will tell you this. I've just bought some Roka eyeglasses.
50% off, right?
They were 20% off with the Stellar, so they already had a discount, and then they gave you on top of that discount, they gave you the Stellar Endurance discounts for the eyeglasses. Now the sunglasses, I think, had the 50, but it saved me over $100, more than $100 for 2 pair of eyeglasses because I was a member of Stellar Endurance. And I just want to say that is a benefit of being involved with a team. And if anybody wants a discount code, just text Dan at
904-327-9837
at any hour, and he will just tell you to go look at the website. But I just want to say that is one of the benefits, and it's very, I mean, for especially something like that, you go into, I want eyeglasses. This is something this has nothing to do with racing, but Roka carries eyeglasses. We have a Roka discount code. It's a benefit of being involved with Stellar Endurance. If you're not involved with Stellar, I mean, and that comes close to paying your whole dues right there.
That does, yeah. I mean, it does pay your dues out there. So, yeah, I mean, they also run additional specials. I mean, Roka usually gives us 50% off days as well that we have on there. They usually run an end of the year promo as well. I know they were running a BOGO eyeglass or a swim goggle there pretty recently as well. So yeah, I mean, we try to keep people as prized as we can. It's always listed on the website, but yes, Rich, I know everybody always texts me and then I'd say, go look at the website.
I just want to just text Dan if you want a a discount to the 5K you're going to, the reindeer 5K you're getting ready to go to, and he'll just send it over to you because he's happy to oblige to that.
And if I don't have it, I will drop everything that I'm doing, call the race director, make sure I get a code for you, and immediately get back to you.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So we did gripe a lot, but I just wanted to give some kudos on that. So the next time I come on here, I'll have some nice Roca glasses on. So
I can't. Which one did you get? Did you get the aviator ones or?
No, these aren't them. I got some. I don't know. They're both of them start with a B. One was like Booker, and one was something else. I don't know.
Nice. I can't wait to see you.
I mean, it's saved me about $100. I think more than $100 using the discount. So it was cool.
Nice. Hey, glad to see it.
Yeah.
Rich, I am about 5 months late on this, but I know we said that we were gonna talk about it when it actually came in, and I obviously dropped the ball on this. But remember way back when I took my leveling test, which was the salt sweat test.
Oh yeah. How'd that go?
I finally did it.
You failed?
Now that all my racing is done and I have nothing left to do, I decided I was going to go take the test. After I failed miserably this year at both races I did, Ironman Haines City kicked my butt, and Ironman Chattanooga or Ironman Coeur d'Alene absolutely obliterated me, and I humbly had to come home with my tail between my legs, head down, swearing off triathlon for the rest of my life. And so I've decided that I should go out there and actually figure out what the frig is wrong with me. So
How much
when
do
I
you
went
sweat,
in
Dan?
and I'm just going to read this to you. So they sent me the whole analytics, and we're going to have somebody on. I'm trying to get someone from Leveling on there, but maybe we can get a sports dietitian. We have a couple friends of the show. Maybe we can have them on as well. But in the note that Leveling sent back to me directly, it says, note, your high sweat concentration and electrolyte concentration results in losing close to 3 days worth of sodium each hour on the run. Given your extreme losses, you should be drinking high carb, high electrolyte mix during your workouts, preloading with salt during meals as recommended on your report. Your losses are some of the highest we've ever seen, driven mostly by your high sweat rate. So increasing salt in your diet and training and race prep will be critical in maintaining your proper fluid. So for all those people that make fun of me out there because I hate the heat, that is why the F I always bonk apparently in the heat. So I'm going to try to figure that out.
You're the highest they've ever seen.
It's not the highest. It said one of the highest. It says I loses 6,500 milligrams of sodium every single hour. So in Coeur d'Alene, I thought I was replacing my salt with the pickle juice, and I was drinking about 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per hour, and I thought that was okay. I wasn't even close. I wasn't even in the ballpark. I had no idea how much salt I was losing.
Oh, wow. That explains a lot, right?
I guess so. Well, hey, it's still not giving me a pass on how bad I suck in the heat. So I told Sky next year I'm going to do some race in the heat just to see if I can redeem myself. I don't know what race it's going to be yet, but yeah, I'm going to try to figure that out and see if I can correct all my years of shitty race results in the heat.
Well, it's good to know. At least you have the knowledge now. At least you're equipped with the knowledge, and you'll know what you have to do to fight that, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I always thought I was bonking because I wasn't taking enough food, and I don't think it is. I think I was bonking because I was losing so much salt. So I went on a run on Sunday, and it was a little bit longer run for me. And I went out there and I said, I'm going to drink 3,000 milligrams of sodium in my bottle. And so I did that. And I was, obviously I can't drink it all at one time, but I was drinking it as I went. And I had 2 goos over a 2-hour run, and I was fine. So I don't know. That's only 200 calories of calories coming in with it was about 80 grams of carbs that I took in, 2 of those Morton gels. And then, I had this stuff called Element. It was 1,000 milligrams. I put 3 of them in my water bottle and just carried it, and I was okay. Now, granted, it wasn't as hot out. It was probably like mid 60s or, close to low 70s, somewhere around there. But it'll just be interesting. It's going to take a while to figure out, but we are going to have some people on there and want to talk about different things. I think some people are trying to do the fat adaptive thing. I know Juan, the owner of the Running Elements, is big into that. I'd like to talk to some people about that side of it, and then also trying to figure out that. But if you do, for all people who do have issues out there, and doing a test like this, and I know it took me forever to actually do the test, but now that I did it, I'm very happy I did. Levelin makes the test. I'm sure other people do. So LEVELEN.com. You can go on there. You can do one for cycling and for running out there as well. So highly recommend that if you're having some issues out there and you think you're missing something in your nutrition.
So how exactly did this test work? What actually went on?
So you put it on your forearm. So there's a patch that you put on. It's a little gauze pad. So you clean your arm prior to doing it. You dry it. You put the gauze pad on, and then there's this layer, basically like a Band-Aid type thing that it adheres the gauze to your forearm, and it just absorbs all the sweat that you have. So you should, it says to go out there and do a 45-minute to an hour long workout at, either medium intensity or high intensity, and try to go out there and do it in race conditions that you're going to be competing at. So obviously the conditions that I'm going to be competing at are probably different than, other people around the country. But once you do that, it says once the gauze pad is completely soaked, you put it in a little vial, snap the top. You write down you write down how much you weighed prior to the test, what you weighed when you got done, what you drank, what the humidity was out, what the temperature was out, how long the workout was, what intensity it was. So you fill that out on each card that I did. I had 2 of them there, and then I shipped them out and got the results back a couple weeks later.
So pretty easy process on your end. How much would that cost a person like yourself?
That was, and don't quote me on this, but I think my test was $159.
Yeah.
So less than your insurance.
Yeah, money well spent. If you're having issues with that and you don't know what it's from, at least you're equipped with the knowledge now to kind of know how to battle that. I think it's a great idea for people to do, especially people who live here in this kind of environment. This kind of if you're sitting out here running in these kind of conditions in the summertime, you could be dumping that kind of sweat.
Yeah, for sure. And it'll be interesting. Like I said, it's going to be a trial and error type thing to kind of figure out, I think, your proper fueling, your electrolytes, and the salt that you need to take in. But hopefully at some point, Rich, I'd like to say next year I want to get on the show and say, hey, I raced a really, really hot race and I didn't die.
I did great. And I think level. Are they a sponsor now?
They are not a sponsor. I just I seek them out because I was having such major issues, and I think Sky originally mentioned it to me. So I took the test, and there we are. So maybe they need to be a sponsor.
I started talking, don't know what I'm going to say. This is episode number 16 of season number 3, but it's also episode number 99. We're on 99 right now. So next episode will be 100. And I haven't talked to you about it, but I think we should have Sky Johnson on for the 100th episode.
For the 100th episode?
Yeah, I would like that.
I don't know if she's listening or not, but it's booked. I think what's funny? I told her this the other day. I said, I bought you a microphone, headphones, a boom system, everything to be on. And since I bought it, she has yet to be on.
Well, I think she should. I think next episode is episode number 100. And if I'm not mistaken, I think she was our first guest, and I would really like to have her on next week, if that's okay with you and her.
Well, sure, it's okay with me. I don't know. She's got a busy schedule, so I will talk to her about that. Make sure we can get her on. And that's big. 100 episodes, man. You did some research on that because
I counted.
I wasn't sure how close we were. You counted. Are we gonna do a best of show? Like people tell us their favorite moments on the Dan Gets Rich, or do we just not have?
It would be amazing if we had if it would be amazing if we had the ability to go back and edit and put and splice together a best of and some of our best times we've stuck our foot in our mouth and that kind of stuff. But we don't have that ability, so we probably won't do that.
Well, I don't know. We could Joel Strickland, Average Joel, who's pretty good listener, co-hosted a couple times on the show, been a guest. I think he probably, we need to go over to his studio. He's got like a $35 million studio.
The problem is to do that, you have to listen to every episode, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
You know what we should do for our 100th episode? We should go back and over the course of this week, we should listen to the very first episode.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'll do it.
How terrible was that first episode? I can't even believe we had any listeners after that.
I don't know that this one is much better, but I feel like we've gotten a little bit more comfortable speaking in the microphone, talking and whatever. I think we've got to the point where we don't care who's listening or who's not listening. So it just doesn't matter. It's you and I having a conversation. In my opinion, I don't even think about the other people that do listen. Maggie.
It is
Maggie,
awesome watching
Maggie McGoo or what is her name? Maggie.
Maggie. What? Oh, from
Janine ran into her. Dyersburg.
Oh my God!
We do have a gift.
Now you just said it. I can't remember what her name is now. Now I need to go back.
Maggie
and look.
something. We do have a gift pack going out to her, and Janine keeps like, "Oh, I keep meaning to mail this thing to Maggie," but it keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like keep getting more shirts and stuff. We keep she's by the time we do mail, it's gonna be an $83. It'll be as much as the processing fee for Iron Man to mail Maggie her gift box.
Maggie Emerson.
Yep. Yeah, she works at a brewery there. We need to go see her.
She needs to send us some beer, some Dyersburg beer.
I don't know what kind of beer it was. I can't remember. Janine went to. I don't think Janine went to the brewery. They met Maggie at a different brewery. I think that's probably all you can do there. It's at Dyersburg. Go to breweries. That's what you do.
You're pretty close to Nashville there, so I think you probably have a decent amount of options.
Yeah. Hey, Dan, it's time for 3 questions. You got 3 questions?
No, man. But I can. Yeah, I know. I'll think of a couple here. So I got
Dan,
one.
What is that on?
At least.
My first question is, what is that on your shirt? It looks like what is sticking up towards your face? What is that?
That is our good friends, from Buzzsprout, who are hosting platform, sent us these awesome shirts. And even though it looks pretty phallic on my shirt, it is a microphone with headphones,
a headset.
If you were looking at the shirt and you had to guess, never in a million years would you say that that's a microphone and headphones. No. You would say that's clearly something else.
That's clearly something else going right towards your head.
You know what's funny? We had this conversation before we got on. Obviously, when you put shirts together and designs, you have a multitude of people that need to look at things and approve them. Who in the freaking hell signed off on this shirt to be completed, printed, and given out on behalf of your brand?
Our brand, this is what we stand behind as Buzzsprout, this cock and balls looking headset. Oh my gosh.
If you're not watching the show, go to our Facebook page or go on YouTube and check it out, and you can see the picture that we're talking about on my shirt.
Yeah, don't do that. Just don't do that. Don't go look at it. and we can still see the green screen that we had a couple weeks ago, where we could see a fireplace and a nice living room set that is in like your design of your hat and your shirt.
It's in the.
And you
So I'm wearing
you
a. Yeah, I'm wearing.
you swear that this fireplace is not in your house, not in your home, nothing that you're even aware of, but it's in your shirt and your hat. So
No, it's like the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. Like you open the door and all of a sudden you're in a different world. I don't even know. I've never seen that couch or coffee table, fireplace. I don't even know where that comes from. Like,
how is that there? And why do I not have it? I still got my hostage sheet back here, my lava lamp.
You got someone in a burlap sack behind you.
We're so poor.
All right, what's your first question, Rich?
Hey, my first question is I've got this kind of a top 10 most visited websites of 2021. I want to see how many of the top 10 you can. I always put pressure. I always like give you pressure ones. Top 10 websites. How many can you name out of the top 10?
I'm going to say Amazon's probably one of them.
Amazon, check. Number 4.
I'm going to say Google.
Google, number 1, numero uno.
I'm going to say, are these all websites that I can say out loud, or they're,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is
there a beer one on there? I'm going to say there's a
No.
beer one on there.
No beer.
What about, is Bing on there?
No Bing. Nobody uses Bing anymore.
Is Microsoft on there?
Microsoft, no. 0 for
Apple.
2.
Apple's definitely on there.
0 for 3. You get one more strike, and I'm gonna have to go down because all of these are widely known.
Apple's not on there?
No, not on there. Not on there.
I give up. If Apple's not on there, I don't know what list you're looking at. But
okay,
I'm gonna kick myself after you tell me.
Yeah, no. Number 2 would be YouTube.
Hey, we're on freaking YouTube. What in the hell? All right.
And number 3 is Facebook. Now you feel bad. Yahoo, you got Amazon, number 4. Yahoo, I guess people still use Yahoo.
I was going to say, people still use Yahoo. I was going to say Yahoo, but then I was like,
I didn't know that. Like, I saw that one. That's like having
AOL. That's like having an AOL account.
Somebody just gave me their email address the other day, and it was an AOL account. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Is that real? Is it even a thing anymore? I didn't even think it still existed. It's you email them and a homing pigeon flies through your window, right? With a note on them. It's like, AOL. Oh, geez. Wikipedia. This one is the next two surprised me. Reddit. I didn't know that many people were on Reddit. Pornhub was number 8. Pornhub shows our society right there. eBay. Pornhub was in front of eBay, and Pornhub was in front of Walmart. So that's the top 10 rounded out.
Walmart was number 10.
Walmart was number 10.
Wow. I never would have guessed that in a million years. Reddit, hey, if you can bring down the big boys of Wall Street on Reddit, then yeah, a lot of people are visiting that.
Didn't Reddit run up the Dogecoin? Is that where that came from, or was that from something else? I don't remember.
No, it did. And then that was also, what was the GameStop? GameStop was the big thing that they did.
Yeah, that was the one, the GameStop that went crazy. That's what I got for.
Then they had everybody. They had everybody buy it. That was like 18 questions built into one. And you're right. Yeah. You always put me on the spot. My question's a lot easier. So I was thinking about this. Rich,
7.
You're walking into an arena. Let's just say you're a UFC guy, or you're walking up to the plate, to bat in the major leagues. What's your theme song?
Oh. I don't know. All I do is win.
never would have guessed that you were going to bust out some DJ Khalid.
All I do is win. Why not? I love that. All I do is win.
I know. I just wouldn't have guessed you that. So, all right.
I couldn't have told you that was DJ Khalif. Or is it Khalif?
Khalid. Khalad.
I couldn't have told you that if you put a gun to my head, though.
Well, you like the jam, though, so it works.
Yeah, all I do is win. I just like the idea of all you do is win. You're gonna show up and go to bat. You're gonna win, right?
Hell yeah.
Hey, do you know what NFTs are, Dan?
Yes, I'm the one that told you about NFTs.
Yes, non-fungible tokens. Do you know what the highest selling NFT was?
I'm gonna get. It's gonna be ridiculously high. I'm gonna say it was 35 million.
$69 million. It was sold in I think June of this year by Mike Winkleman, also known as Beeple. He sold it for $69 million. It was a collaboration kind of collage of 5,000 days worth of artwork that he'd been making since 5,000 days ago. Digital artist.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm going to stick on yours. And the world's first blockchain-based cycling club was coming through out of the looks like it was going to be by Rich. This guy's name is Rich Mitch.
Rich Mitch? That's not his real name. It can't be. Rich Mitch.
You know what Ethereum, I know you're a big you're a big crypto guy, so you know what Ethereum is. It's going to be on the Ethereum blockchain on there. So the mint date, Rich, are you going to get in on this? The mint date is mid-January 2022. Are you in? They are going
January
to have
20.
Listen to this. So the key points: the world's first blockchain-based cycling club, all art created by the UK cycling artist Rich Mitch. 10% of all revenues donated to cycling-related charities and advocacy groups. Membership provides access to private groups, channels, Strava club, and more. Got to be on Strava, right? It's got to be a big thing. Membership is verified on the Ethereum blockchain. Are you in on that?
So is this an NFT kind of thing? Is it an NFT on the Ethereum blockchain?
Yes, sir. It is the first community-driven NFT project for cyclists.
By Rich Mitch.
By Rich Mitch.
We'll have to check it out. So what we'll tell all our listeners to get involved with this NFT, and you're all going to be multi-gazillionaires by the time we talk next year, because we told you to get in with Rich Mitch.
Hey, have you seen, speaking of crypto, have you seen that Dogecoin now has a female counterpart called Wife Doge?
No. Wife Doge.
It is. It's.
I think real?
It's 8. Yeah, it's a real thing. I think right now it's like 0.8012. I think right now, so you can get in at the very early level, Rich.
You get 6 million shares for 22 cents.
Yes,
probably something like that. Well, Dan, that's all I have. I have 2 questions. I put you on the spot for the 10 most visited sites. I thought you'd do better than that. I was kind of disappointed in you. In that,
I was. First of all, I was terrible. I can't even believe I didn't do YouTube. I can't believe I didn't do Facebook, and probably because I don't really think of them as websites. You can look at them on your phone or whatever. I don't know. I should have been better. I was terrible at that. I'm terrible at running in the heat. So all around, Rich, I'm just terrible.
That is so interesting, though. There's such a what's the word, like lexicon or something? So much a part of our life that we don't even think of them as a website. I think of a website as I don't know. It's different from that. Facebook is just Facebook. Is it Facebook anymore? Isn't it something else? Didn't they go with something else?
It's Meta.
Meta?
Meta. META.
Is that for real? When is that?
It's already
now?
a thing.
Is that
always
it's Meta from now on?
Yeah.
It's a meta.
Meta.
It still says Facebook on my phone.
Yeah,
They haven't.
but if you look
They
at the
haven't
bottom, but
all
I think if you
all
look
their
at the bottom,
branding.
it'll
How
they're going
expensive
through
is it
rebrand.
to? How expensive is it? How expensive is it to rebrand Facebook?
I don't know.
How
I don't know,
many business
Rich.
cards they got to they got to make?
Hey, I did see real quick,
talking-
and I just want to talk about this, Rich, real quick. That I did see, that infrastructure bill just passed. The $1.75 trillion thing. People for
Build
bikes,
back better. Build
yeah,
back better.
they were involved with this, and there's actually going to be tax credits for electric bicycles and bike commuter benefits. That's going before the House on November. I think that's either today. I think so. Hopefully, obviously trying to get people more involved in cycling. Hopefully, makes it a little bit safer for the people that do commute, especially in cities and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if they spend some of that money to make the infrastructure a little bit better and make the bike lanes better, I mean, we've talked about that ad nauseum from the very get-go, how dangerous it is to get out on your bike and ride around. And we'd like to encourage more people. I've got an electric bike and I've ridden a heck out of it. I've got almost 4,000 miles on my electric bike, and there's I'll go for days and weeks without getting in my car. I like it. I like that. I like to, I'm not a big greenie guy, but I like to, just get on my bike, go for a ride. Even if
it's you can cruise around on those things. How fast does your bike go? I know you got to go
about 23 miles an hour.
Nice.
No,
All right.
we're good. Well, mine does about 23 miles an hour, and goes. I live at the beach. Kind of goes anywhere I need it to go. Hey, nice. My Tundra that I have gets 13 miles a gallon. I'll trade the. I'll ride my bike. Jeez, I can watch the gas gauge go down. I'm like, what? I can see it moving. How is that possible?
Yeah, when you can see it moving. It cost me $200 to fill up, and I got 100 miles on this thing.
Oh, goodness. Well, Dan, nice talking to you. Next week or next time we're on here will be our 100th episode. Hopefully we can have Sky from Try with Sky on. That would be kind of nice. And, it's been a long journey, 100 episodes. Who would have thought we'd be here doing this 3.5 years later, whatever.
Yeah, I know. You never even thought I was going to say yes 3 years ago when you approached me at our party.
It's literally second longest relationship I've ever had. My second longest relationship I've ever had.
Yes.
I'm
fired up
get some
about
sleep.
That, Rich.
It's late.
All right, buddy. Take care.
It's only 8:00.
I'm hitting the melatonin and going to bed.
Yeah, it's 8:00.
All right, buddy.
So late. All right, dude. I'm gonna go grab her. She just texted me.